In Africa, roughly 1 person in 5 is white, and the vast majority of these whites are by no means settlers who have come to Africa during the last 300 years. The white population immigrating from Europe in modern times, by the most generous estimate, no more than 4 million people, is concentrated in the southern part of the continent. By contrast, those African lands washed by the Mediterranean to the north contain a long-established non-European white population of at least 58 million. Northern Africa is, and has been throughout recorded time, the great border zone where white ends, meeting the area where black begins, where white ends, meeting the area where black begins. In other parts of the world, vast migrations have created important juxtapositions of the two colors, as in the United States, Brazil, and South Africa. In Northern Africa, native whites and native blacks have confronted each other since the beginning of history. If there are lessons to be learned about the ways in which men of various times and cultures have reacted to differing skin colors, then Northern Africa is one of the most important places to look. I am T.B. Wahid. I am reading Color in Northern Africa by Leon Carl Brown. Leaders in the states of Northern Africa all speak today with greater or lesser intensity of a common Africanness. They contend that Africa is and always has been colorblind. The moral foundation of this assertion can only be applauded and encouraged, but is it historically valid? Has color played so marginal or even insignificant a role in the North Africa's vision of his neighbors to the south? Is the present cry of a common Africanness that transcends color differences based on more than an act of will, however laudable, on the part of the ruling elite? Only one part of this complex subject can be essayed here: how the native, predominantly white populations living in the northern part of Africa have regarded the blacks to the south. The question to be posed is, in fact, even more circumscribed. To what extent does color seem to have been a determining factor? Antipathies or sympathies based on language, religion, ways of life, or common enemies will be considered only as they bear on the immediate question of color. There is considerable complexity and diversity in Northern Africa, or what some French geographers have called l'Afrique blanche. These many differences pale, however, when Northern Africa is compared with its neighboring regions to the east, the Middle East, or the South, Black Africa. So much so that it even seems warranted to speak of its great uniformities. Northern Africa is overwhelmingly Muslim in religion and has been for centuries. It thus presents a deep-rooted historical continuity. Arabic, the major language, provides a lingua franca for the entire area. including the large native Berber-speaking populations of Morocco and Algeria. It is the sole native language, serving as the vehicle for a learned tradition. Such basic items as architecture, economic organization, habits of dress, and cuisine all indicate that this is a single cultural area. In the parlance of many present-day Africans, this is Arab Africa, or, to be a bit more exact, at the price of ponderosity, this is Arabo-Berber, Muslim, overwhelmingly white Africa. Separating northern Africa from middle Africa is the world's largest desert in landmass, the Sahara, which extends across the continent from the Atlantic to the Red Sea, broken only in the east by the Nile River. The extent to which the Sahara has served as a barrier between northern and middle Africa is still debated. But one possible measure available to the untrained eye is perhaps not lacking in significance. As one moves southward along the Nile Valley into the Sudan, there is, despite the river's many cataracts, a subtle change from white to black in the skin pigmentation of the people. The break between white and black is sharper in Central and West Africa. It is safe to say that the Sahara has been somewhat more of a barrier than the Nile Valley. Now, I want to say that I remember watching a YouTube program, and they were talking about the Middle East, and they were the natives there, the Africans there, were talking to an African American man, and they told him that there is no such thing as the Middle East. He said it is all Africa. He went on to say that they used to take I can't remember what he said, but they had these tools or implosion type apparatuses that they used to try to implode one part that they gave the name Middle East. They tried to implode it away from the rest of Africa, and then they gave it what they could and sever apart. They named it the Middle East. But he made sure to say that there is no such thing as the Middle East. He said it is all Africa. So, I'm going to try to find that video because it's been some time ago. But I'm quite sure we can look it up. There's a lot of information on it. Just like they said, it's still up for debate. I don't know what's up for debate because Africa is Africa. There was another man that talked about how he went to Dubai, and he said one of the black men there told him, he said, I'm just an African black man that lives in Dubai just like you. I'm African just like you. So, hey, the diaspora is not small. I urge you to make sure to do your studying and your research. And this is the chapter that I am on, Leon Carl Brown, Color in Northern Africa. So, I hope that you enjoy this reading, and I will be back soon. I'm going to cover this and talk about it at the same time. I wish you peace, love, and light. I am glad that you are here. Hotel.